Hey guys, Bugcat7 here. Okay, it is Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. Thank you for visiting the Stonewall Research 2 channel here on YouTube. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, I got a comment today from Jenna from Cryptic Cryptids about the Whitehouse press release about the drones. As we knew prior to President Trump's election, that he was going to get to the bottom of it after he was elected here. Now, we were led to believe that, there's something more to it than the assurances that we were given, by the Biden administration. Nothing to see here, okay? And the White House press spokesman, this Caroline Monkey Face, whatever her name is, Levitt, I think is her name, young, bleach blonde, pretty girl, who tells us that the drones were authorized and were experimental vehicles authorized by the FAA. Okay, so I hope that people are awake here and understand that this statement is completely ludicrous. Just like every bit of it is ludicrous if you have your thinking caps on, okay? So, first of all, if the FAA knew that these were experimental vehicles that they authorized, okay, why didn't they say that a few months ago and save everybody a lot of grief? Unless they're some sort of prototype vehicles to the military, these highly classified. Okay, so no mention of that at all. Like, where's the taxpayers' money going? What are these things then? If the FAA is authorized and everything, so, well, that's a public, you know, part of the public, system here, a department of public works here. So why don't we know what they are? Tell us who's doing it and whatever. What's the big secret? Okay, if it's all lawful and all that kind of stuff, and they're authorized, everything, it's just to put everybody's minds at rest, right? That's what you want, right? So, okay, so that's one thing, and I didn't only one who noticed that, before we even get to it here, because there's a couple of, at least one New Jersey official and the borough president of Staten Island who thought the same thing. Why don't you just tell us a few months ago and save us all this grief about it? And that's okay. So they're authorized experimental vehicles. Okay, so they're experimental vehicles. Okay, so I showed you on this channel in all the videos there, one of the videos there, where on the cover of the paper it said that the lights go out when approached. Okay, so really, so we have experimental vehicles where the lights go out when they're approached by some other, vehicle in the air there, a helicopter, whatever. So, police helicopter, commercial helicopter. So the lights go out on your experimental vehicle, so to remain invisible to them. So what? So they can get crashed up. Have a mid-air collision with something because it doesn't see you, right? So that doesn't make any sense at all, okay? I already covered this, and, by the way, as I've said in my other videos, I've been seeing the drones for years around here. And so has one other person here to see the same freaking drone in the area that I've seen it in a million times. okay, who also said that he see the lights go on. And it just so happens, was it yesterday that this came out? That one of the other customers that I talk to sometimes, he just came out and said, "What do you think about the drones and all that kind of stuff?" So, I heard him come overhead here when the other customer was freaking out when he saw him overhead here, and it was the weirdest sound I ever heard. But okay, so the experimental drones. Okay, so they're manned drones. Okay, so I'm having trouble with this. Okay, what is a drone? Okay, is it a drone an unmanned vehicle? So how could there be like a manned drone? It's an oxymoron. It's just like jumbo shrimp or something like that. It's not. There's no such thing as a manned drone. So it's like some manned air vehicle or whatever it is. So what is the rules with manned air vehicles? Do you think it's safe for them to come into your space? Like, on your property, over your house or whatever. I don't give a shit if it's experimental or not. Okay? I don't want that. What if the thing suddenly loses power? It's SUV size. So how could they judge it was SUV size? Because there was eyewitnesses, right, that saw them, right? And, that was how they were able to judge. You can't judge it at a distance, but, over your house, over in your space, your private space, you should have some private space above your house too. On all sides of your property is your space. Why would you want experimental drones in your space? What's the rules on this? Does the FAA have a booklet of rules about? And just think about it. Okay, so at this altitude, they're not worried about things. I mean, people who fly at low altitudes, like in, commercial helicopters and, police aviation divisions and all that kind of stuff, and the military, etc. They know that, what their ceiling is in commercial traffic and all that kind of stuff. They have some rapport with, ground communications and all kind of stuff. So anyway, so the reason why we have air traffic control is because, there's so much traffic in the air, okay? So people who fly around in helicopters and stuff rely, on their visual, perception of what's going on in the air, other air vehicles, in the area where airports are, etc. So, the air's going to be more crowded up with drones and all kind of stuff. Well, then there's going to have to be like some management of that. Just can't have like hundreds and tens of drones flying around just doing anything, turning their lights off and all kind of stuff like that. So the whole thing is nonsense what they're talking about. So one official in New Jersey was just like, what is this all about? It doesn't make any sense to her. Some female official there in New Jersey where these sightings were and everything. It's just, why didn't they just tell us a long time ago? And same for the Staten Island borough president, Vito Pacelli. Okay, so he's a good Italian guy from Staten Island there, a New Yorker, all right? So shout out to Vito over there, okay? Molto bene, Presidente, okay? So he said the FAA said that they are authorized vehicles. So when he asked about it, when he called up the FAA, told them that they were going to have to investigate, okay, about the drones. That's what he was told. About from Washington and everywhere else, that he was, that the FAA was going to have to investigate it. So he said, what, they're going to have to investigate themselves? Okay, so this is how ridiculous it is. Okay, you got to give them a street smart credit over there. We're going to fool New Yorkers? I don't think so. All right, so you said that, you're going to have to do an investigation. So why don't you just say these experimental vehicles? And, what are they? You can't show them to us and everything. Who's making them? Is it a government project? Where's the taxpayers' money going? Don't we have a right to see where it's going? It's not a military project, right? Not yet, anyway, or whatever. So was it top secret? Or they didn't say nothing about that. See, it's just, all the even mainstream, news outlets were like, raises more questions than it gives answers and everything. And that's what we were not led to believe that. When Trump was talking about it and everything, he said the president knows more, there's more to this, the Pentagon knows, so he's probably completely right about that. And, it came down to him. They have to compartmentalize him and everybody else too. They're going to tell him what it is, what the real answer is and everything. And they can't tell anybody, even if they told the president, look, we don't know what these things are, where they come from. They could very well be from outer space, whatever. You're telling me it doesn't pose a national security threat? Well, just any foreign enemy country just come over here and fly some drones around or whatever. They can be armed and all this kind of stuff, and just fly some drones around. And, they said a lot of the drone sightings and everything were these, just, private citizens and, flying drones around and whatnot. Anyway, after this, the drone craze went crazy. Everybody sent their drones out to see other drones, I guess, or whatever. But it's clear in many of the photographs of the drones that we're talking about, they had the same exact configuration. It's just like, is it a name brand drone, or that we know about, or something like that? Are you all the same? Those are the experimental ones that the lights go out and you expect them not to get cracked up in the air and whatnot. Come on now. The whole thing is ridiculous. 100% BS. So a complete whitewash of what they know and all this kind of stuff like that. They know what they are. Okay? Let's say they did come from space or something like that. You think they're going to tell us that? Don't they know that's going to instill more fear in people than anything? Things are coming from outer space that seem to be operating, autonomously, that we don't know anything about. Right? They can't say anything like that. They can't say anything about something they have no idea about. They can't say, the government can't say. It's just like all academics can't say they don't know. That's going to instill a lot of fear in people, and it just, people are fearful about it to begin with, okay? It just provides absolutely no answers. The answer isn't well thought out, obviously, okay? So the whole thing is BS, and I don't hear anybody else calling it. Jenna told me she did a search on YouTube. Nobody else was talking about it or anything. I guess maybe because Trump's in office, he can't do wrong or whatever. The White House press secretary there, kind of a monkey face, says, it's good, all good and everything, And, you don't have to accuse me of, liking Biden. I don't like any of them, see? I'm not involved. I'm like George Carlin. See, you voted for him, so you have no right to complain. I have every right to complain. I didn't put these scumbags into office who are effing you. You did. So you have no right to complain, stupid. Whatever. So, in any case, this whole whitewash thing about the drones and the press statement from the press secretary, it doesn't make any sense at all. I'm sorry. And doesn't answer any questions. And he got called on it by Vito Pacelli, president of Staten Island, borough president there. It's like, FAA is going to do an investigation of itself. And what they find? That they have some experimental aircraft up? Well, they don't know what some other department of the FAA is doing. Oh, yeah, by the way, wait a second, boss. We're doing some stuff over here. Oh, yeah, what are you doing over there? We're launching some drones and everything. Where? Don't worry about it. It's all cool, man. We're keeping it secret, okay? So we don't want it to get out. So this is another thing, too. The more people involved with some multiple drones sighting. Even I don't know what article I was reading today had a picture of like multiple drones in the air that they saw, right? All of the same configuration and all kind of stuff. And you know, who's running these drones? They don't talk, to their relatives and stuff, and their girlfriend and their wife and their kids, and nothing gets out. The janitor over there doesn't know what's going on or anything's going on. See, people got big mouths, so I find it difficult to believe it's being kept secret somewhere by a whole bunch of people with joysticks running them. But, they're manned drones. Drones are manned. They're unmanned drones and manned drones, I guess. What's the idea of a drone? Isn't a drone something that's autonomous? Does it need to be manned? I don't know. Jumbo shrimp, So, whatever. I don't know. Put it together yourself, man. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Sorry. Explanation, no explanation, and a statement from the FAA. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? Based on eyewitness accounts of the drone and all the statements that were made by the various people involved. Okay, their size, their man, their all this kind of stuff. What are the rules? Coming in your personal space. Oh, that's lawful. Sure, it is. I don't think it's lawful to come in your personal space, even if it's above you. It's like somebody standing in your yard. Yeah, what are you doing over there? I don't know, just standing here. Fuck you if you don't like it. I don't think so. Okay, what are the rules there, FAA? Where's the rule book about manned drones? What do you got there? They're full of effing shit. Come on now. This is the stupidest stuff I ever heard of, and they're whitewashing of it should concern people, okay? The fact of what they really know and all this kind of stuff. All right, they can't tell us. Can't tell us, right? It's going to incite a panic in people if they tell us what it really is, okay? So just think about it a little bit, all right? Watch my other videos. I went a couple days in a row with all the drone reports and the papers and everything. So, we talked about it already. It was something. The response is ridiculous. It doesn't answer or even address. It's the response doesn't match the incident or occurrence, right? Doesn't match the incident and occurrence. So, just think about it in those terms. The whole statement is ridiculous. All right, their whole response to it before and after. Okay, this is coming from way above Trump. The military, and they've already done their analysis of it in think tanks and all that kind of other stuff. They know exactly what it is. Okay, they don't have to worry about it. It's not the enemy because it's something else. All right, biomechanoids that they don't want to tell us about because that's scarier. Some kind of creature can't be reasoned with. Okay? They're on some sort of predatory level, like an orca with a much more highly advanced or an evolved brain than ours, but they're in predatory mode forever. Because they don't need to make a car or a bow and arrow or whatever it is. They don't need any of that stuff. You have to just eat, play, and, procreate and have their little society like zoologists, researchers say. They have all like personalities and have these societies and perfectly capable of devising strategies and all this kind of other stuff, So, I don't know, man, if they're like that. And, and these things that came and visited us over here and continue to visit us over here are sort of benign. They don't do anything, maybe like, bovine species or something like that. They're just chilling out. Maybe they come to nibble or something or other. Or Maybe they are AI drones from some other civilization or something like that. Just free to be autonomous and do whatever they want to do. They're not hurting anybody or anything, but who knows if they could be just like switched, into attack mode or something like that when you want to know about it. I don't know. And all the missing 411 stuff and everything, these things look triangular shaped to me from the paper and articles and all kind of stuff. So anyway, guys, think about all this stuff and think about what a BS whitewash story this is that's laughable. And it's like so obviously laughable, too. That's what's about it. It's like they have no shame about reporting this stupid explanation here. The FAA, oh, yeah, right. So anyway, they told us some guys were doing something that we didn't know anything about. It's, they let us know they were doing some kind of experimental stuff, and some guys, that we employ do some stuff, So, and, the rest is just, people sending stuff up after it was reported, and, that just confused everything on the good side for us to confuse you. Stupid. All right, so anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Anyway, Budcat7 signing off. Peace.